What up, what up, what up? It's your best friend Mike. I'm here to talk to you today with our boy George from USPA, North Carolina. People are still going to be hopping on. Boom, boom, boom. But basically, we're going to go over him as a meet director, um, what he does, who he is, why he does it, things like that. Talk about some powerlifting stuff, and just get people on board what's going on. What's up, everyone? So just to reiterate, like I said, we're going to talk to our guy George. He's from USPA, North Carolina. Um, he's one of the meet directors I work with really closely for Night Muscle and like Fit Firm Bros. We just had our hold on, let me invite George. How do I freaking do that? Are you there, George? Boom, there we go.
What up? What up? What up?
What shirt are you wearing?
Not a nightmare muscle.
What's up, everybody? This is George. George Sporher. He's from USPA, North Carolina. He puts on a crap load of meets every single year. He's one of the meet directors I work very closely with. And we just had our drug tested Naira Muscle Classic.
Yes.
So, George, why don't you tell everybody like who you are and what you do?
My name is George Sporher, and I am a meet director for the USPA rather. My Instagram handle is USPA North Carolina, but I direct meets in North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware.
Sweet. What made you get into meet directing?
I had a passion for it. Started with judging, and I judged a lot. I judged at one point 17 meets in 1 year. So I just had a big passion for the sport. I always had a passion for the sport. I was a competitor prior, but so I kind of wanted to dip my hands into meet directing. Slowly got into it, and then with the whole obviously Johnny thing, everything kind of took off from there.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're doing, what, 23 meets this year?
25.
25 meets this year, which I believe is also the most for a meet director in all the United States.
Correct.
Sweet. What would you say is the hardest part about it?
Honestly, the hardest part probably just like setup and tear down. There's a lot that goes into everything, but just the setup and tear down. Because every time when I go to a different venue, I don't visit all the venues at first. A bunch of the venues that I do know the gym owners, and I have been to those certain locations. So but I don't always know the venue. When I go there, like my wheels just get turning like a million miles an hour, and just try to make sure the setup is as best as possible, that the lifters have ample amount of space in the warm-up area, and also that there's plenty of room for the spectators. I know that's not always the case with the room for like spectators and stuff like that, but my main concern is the lifters. So to make sure they have a pretty good amount of space in the warm-up area, and then also to make sure that the platform area has a lot of space where they can, enter and then go off of, putting in their next attempts and stuff like that, so they don't feel overcrowded.
Sweet. I will commend you on the teardown and everything, because I feel like you conned me into helping out this past weekend.
I didn't even say a word to you.
I couldn't just sit there.
You're the one who came to me and said, "Big dog, we're gonna help with." So.
Because if I didn't, that'd have been weird.
It's all good. I generally do have a pretty good crew of people that help out. So.
Ignore that. That's someone trying to settle stuff.
Yeah. I generally do have a pretty good crew. I have a great crew of judges that work for me. I guess they don't really work for me because it's really a volunteer basis, but that work with me to help facilitate the meets and stuff like that. Generally, I do have a majority of the meets are the same judges. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those judges do know like where the stuff goes and all that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty seamless process to tear down. I guess is really like the setup to making sure everything's where it needs to be.
Okay. What would you say is the most fulfilling thing about what you do?
Say that again.
What would you say is the most fulfilling thing about being a meet director?
The end of the meet, man. Just having them, all the lifters be happy. I know all the time. All lifters aren't always happy, but just like have to see their passion, to see them happy, to see them do or do what they set out to do, even if they don't, just have like a great time meeting new people, and just having fun competing. Obviously, it is a competitive sport, but at the end of the day, you always want lifters to enjoy themselves and have fun as well. So that's really fulfilling to me, to have a lifter come up to me and say they had an awesome time, and they really appreciate that. But I think that's the biggest, most fulfilling thing, honestly, for me, because a lot goes into meet directing, which a lot of the lifters don't see the backside stuff. So, and especially doing so many, they're stressful because you have to answer a lot of questions. There's a lot of logistics that go into it. And like, and like just said, and fulfill working with Trisha. Yes, I do work with Trisha and Garrett very closely as well. They're awesome people to work with, and they are phenomenal meet directors as well. But really, it's just seeing the satisfaction on the lifters' faces, and just, you know, hearing the constant like, "Hey, man, awesome."
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet. That's awesome, dude. What would you say, or what would you say to someone that wants to be a meet director? I think that's another big one. Or an event director, because we have some people that do the strongman stuff.
To be a meet director, honestly, I would say, don't just jump into it. Do like I think personally, I think they should shadow another meet director for at least a minimum of 5 meets, just to see how that stuff goes. And even still, I think that's not enough. And when you do it for the lifters. Make sure that everything that you're doing is for the lifters, because without them, you know, I wouldn't be a meet director.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I try to do everything that I do for the lifters. Like, I try to make sure they have the best time, you know, little changes to have a bigger impact on their meet experience.
Okay, I can dig it. What I guess another question a lot of people have is, what for you is like your biggest goal, or what's a goal you have right now that you want to accomplish?
Just to continue to put on meets. You know, going into next year, I already started sanctioning meets, but to just continue to put on meets, continue lifters to be happy, continue to grow this in a positive way, continue to grow just everything like in a positive way. I think with you know, kind of when that whole Johnny stuff took off, and then I kind of took off with it, I try to make sure to spin it, obviously, because there was a lot of negative light, but try to continue to put a positive spin on everything. Continue to grow. I try to, as a meet director, go into as many areas as possible, mainly in North Carolina, because that is my home state. So it gives the lifters the opportunity to compete closer to home, so they're not driving an hour to tell that. And then hopefully in the future, I get my hands on doing a bigger meet, like a national level meet or something along the line.
For something like that, what does it take to do?
It's a lot of planning. It's really a lot of logistics and planning. So you have to have a really solid plan in place. I know that, to where the venue that you want, the square footage, the platforms, how many lifters you want to have, like how many rooms, or if you get a hotel, and that's where I hear is the spot that they want that stuff to have. But just have the everything in place, like make sure all the logistics are in place, and obviously there's got to be a really good timeline for it too. You got to put in a bid for it, because you know they give everybody a chance to get, you know, to be able to put on a national level meet or something like that. But if you have all your ducks in a row, I think that is a greater chance, rather than just saying, hey, look, I'd love to put a meet on, or a national level meet. So
Is there anything you wish people knew about what you guys did? Judges, the meet directors, all the volunteers, spotters and loaders.
That we're all human too. And the majority of us, I know for judges at least, we were competitors at one point. There are countless judges that are still our competitors. We're all human. We make mistakes out there, and with judging and stuff like that, all the calls aren't going to be perfect. They may not be exactly liked, but the thing is, what I try to help and explain to lifters is like, you gotta read the rule book. I mean, that is hands down, like that's what we follow is the rule book. And there's a lot of times where there are lifters who do get upset. My judges uphold that standard of the rule book. I keep in constant contact with my judges, and I'm getting ready to send out an email here soon outlining some things that I see that need to be changed. But it's not easy. Again, I do this for the love of the sport and for the lifters. So sometimes to step back and to kind of look at the bigger picture is probably something.
Definitely. I definitely think that you guys get a bad rap sometimes as judges, or people in their feelings, especially after a lift that they miss, and they don't talk to the judge. I think that's one of the most important things. If you get 1, 2, or even 3 white red lights and you don't talk to your judges, I think that's one of a lifter's biggest problem, because how do you know what you need to fix if you don't talk to them?
Yeah, exactly. And like Trisha just said, a lot of work goes into this. On the backside, like I said, that the lifters don't see. A lot of work goes into this. A lot of hours. Like I know myself, and I know Trisha as well, but I spend a lot of hours. Like I get it. Like the weigh-ins are Friday, the meet Saturday, 2-day thing. But I spend a lot of hours outside of that, answering emails, answering DMs, just getting everything set up for the meet. So there's a lot that goes into it that they don't see. I never want my biggest thing is like I never want a lifter to feel like I'm just here to take their money, because that's absolutely not it. Because I absolutely don't need to do this. I am retired from the United States Army, so I do have income coming in. So I do not do this for the money. I try to make sure that we have the best of the best for the lifters, and I don't I'm not I'm not talking about with the fireworks and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking about equipment, bars, making sure they got kilo plates in the warm-up area. I just started putting like a giant cooler with water back there for them, so they always have cold water. So just trying to do that stuff.
I did notice that, and I would agree with you on that, because I know we talked about that this past weekend when I was there, that you volunteer all your time to this. This is like all you do now that you're retired, which is awesome. I don't know many people that would do it this long, especially for the love of it, because it's like running a business. I know a bunch of people who have started a business and have stopped because it didn't take off how they wanted to, or it wasn't just going the way they wanted to do it. Because in the beginning, I feel like a lot of people have that, there's a lot of heart into it in the beginning. There's a lot of like that pizzazz. Like people they romanticize it. And then, shit hits the fan, they got to fix it. And, it's very hard to stay passionate about something when those things happen. But I think the people that do make it through those little areas is what makes it better. I think that's what makes one of the best meet directors I've ever worked with and I've known.
Appreciate it.
I guess the other thing people want to know is, when are you going to step on the platform again?
I do get that question a lot. I do not know. I'm working through some things. Still, I can't really do pressing. I did, recently, this past year, get full shoulder replacement surgery. So I am still working through recovery and stuff like that. So I do get some setbacks with that. I do train in my garage, and but it's really just like squats and deadlifts, and I do deadlifts like every other week or every third week realistically too, because pulling does irritate my shoulders and stuff like that. So probably maybe 2023. I don't know. Definitely not 2020.
Is that Gary? Is that G Brewer?
Yes.
He said next year, head to head. I know you're gonna let Rob get on the platform before you.
Yeah, Rob gets on the platform a lot. But Gary, this guy in freaking Chico over here talking crap. I got to get my gray shirt before I do any of that. These guys won't stop talking crap about that.
All right, another thing I would say, I guess, why do you keep doing it? I guess that's a real important thing. Let's get back to that. Like we just talked about, when things start after the romanticizing period, and a lot of people fall off. Like, why did you keep doing it?
Again, it's just the cycle back to, I guess, the passion for actually doing it. I thoroughly enjoy meet directing, and I guess it's best of both worlds. I love traveling, so I absolutely love traveling. That is one thing, why I joined the military. Obviously my biggest reason was to serve, but I love traveling. I miles and hours I spend in my truck driving all around, but I do love traveling too. So that makes it easier. I'm not always bummed about, oh man, I got to go out of town again. But I really just absolutely love meet directing. It gives me so much fulfillment to do it, to see the lifters happy, to put on a meet, and then, see the majority of the lifters happy, and just all that kind of stuff. So, and then, have, with the younger kids, have their parents come out and say they had, the kid had a great time. They had a great time in this, and it's with being a spectator. Oh yeah, there's Albert. Squats to Death Apparel, Albert. He just got his gray shirt, so now I'm going to hear it from him too.
Oh, Al got his gray shirt finally.
Yeah, finally. I heard he threatened Bruce though, but who knows?
I believe it. Yeah, that's like the one thing I hear about everything. Some people get their shirt next week. Some people wait 3 months.
But yeah, man, I absolutely love meet directing. I mean, I don't know how else to really explain it. It's just it's fun for me. Now that honestly I can't compete realistically right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't compete right now. I really enjoy this, and I really enjoy judging. That's why when I'm not meet directing, I go help. I try to go help at meets, like with Trisha.
Yeah. You're doing this weekend too, right?
Yeah, I'm going to South Carolina to help Trisha run their Carolina States tested and non. So should be a lot of fun. I always have a great time with them. Phenomenal meets. They also travel a lot too.
Yeah.
South Carolina, but they come into North Carolina, Virginia, Florida, Georgia. So they're pretty much all over as well.
And I'll be following all the USPA Instagrams and Facebook pages. I'll be seeing you guys all the time.
Yeah. We're moving, man. Trying to just get to areas to make sure lifters have the opportunity to where they feel comfortable. They're basically at home. So it's like home field. It's not really home field advantage, but you know what I'm saying? It's like when you travel, obviously travel is fun, but sometimes it's just cool to compete at home. You can go sleep home in your own bed, the night of weigh-ins, and get up and, so.
I know it sounds like it's probably going to sound like beating on a dead horse, but what do you think that us as a community can give back to help y'all out and help the rest of the powerlifting community?
To give back. That's exactly it. To give back. Come help at meets. Come help be meet staff, help spot and load, run admissions, if people have para boosts or something like that. But realistically, man, we need a lot of help with spotting and loading tremendously. It is a lot of work, and they absolutely, like Gary just said, volunteer. They absolutely do move more weight than the competitors do. But I'm here to say, I've done it all too. I've spotted and loaded a lot of meets before I started judging. I was a competitor, and then I went and helped at meets. So that is the biggest thing, is we as meet directors honestly cannot do it without the help of volunteers. Because if we don't have spotters and loaders, there's literally nothing we can do. Sometimes a little bit help, and then that's one biggest thing I get for. If you really truly are passionate about it, and then I think that's about it.
I would say, I know not everyone has a program like you have, but I do know you pay everyone. So you got, what is it? The first time it's $100, and it's like $50 every additional time till it's or 25. I forget, but
No, yeah, it's 100 the first time, and $10 additional. I do meat credits. I do have designed meat staff shirt, so it is a pretty cool. And then, like I said, they get fed. They get a chance to give back to the sport. They get money. They get a pretty cool shirt, and then they also get the chance to pretty much compete for free in the future.
Yeah.
With that too, generally, sometimes if they sign up and they get a meat shirt, I'll just throw that in too and not tell them. They're like, oh, I got a meat shirt. Let me pay you for that. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So I try to also give back if they're helping. I do have a pretty good crew of people that do come. Candace Delaney and her crew, they usually come to meets that they can come. So they do a great job, so.
Yeah, I know I can't speak for every meet director, but I think that's really cool that you do that. I guess the next thing we talk about is how does someone become a ref? And then explain the different types of refs there are.
So how to become a ref? Basically, the process, you have to have competed twice. It doesn't have to be USPA. Basically, competed twice. So that's never competed or really is not real into the sport, just kind of rolling in like, hey, I want to judge. And then you submit an application through the USPA website, USPA.net. You submit the application. It's dependent on the state and stuff like that. I do try to recruit so that I know who is trying to become a judge. So once that gets submitted, that kind of gets submitted and it goes to Bruce. Bruce ask the state chairs, like, hey, review this bio and let me know what you think. Prove them to become a judge, a ref or not, yay or nay. I haven't really ever heard of them denying anybody. So after that process is you get a test. It's a test from Bruce. So it's an open book test, 100 questions, but it's an open book. You go through the rule book and you answer the 100 questions. You have to get 90% or better. And then after that, then you take a practical. And practical, what that is you just go sit side by side with a judge. And you guys, it has to be a TC, which is test certified. You sit side by side with a judge throughout a meet, and then you just go over the lifts. So basically, as the person say they squat, and they come back up, and then you're going to say to the judge before he pushes his button, it's a good lift or no lift, and then the judge will push his button. So it's pretty quick. It's not like they're kind of waiting, but then it'll be a agree or disagree, and then the judge will talk it over with you. After that, if you pass that, which again, I haven't heard of anybody actually failing the practice, but then you become a state level judge. So there's a state level judge, there's a national judge, and there's international judges. The state level judges is what you see mostly at meets, and you'll see some national judges and stuff like that. So state is red, national is blue, and then international is gray. And then like for encompass of that, you need national judges to be able to break a national record at a state level meet, and then obviously just state level judges to break a state record. And then that you can, I know they have fast track from state level to national level, which is basically 16 meets in a year. And then it is 64 flights. And then there's some computer time requirements and stuff like that. And also expediter and then weigh-in stuff. So that is that you can get early advancement to national if you do that in 1 year. And then also, again, that has to get kind of signed off by the state chair, and then that goes up. Or from state to national, it is in 2 years, 8 meet flights, and then all this, some other stuff for computer requirements and expediter and stuff like that. And now from national to international, it is 20 meets with at least 100 flights, and then whatever the computer and expediter and weigh-ins requirements are. I don't remember those offhand, but so those are the judges
Yep.
and the judges.
Dope. Where would you like to see the sport to go, and why?
I would like to see the sport continue the direction it's going, but with a little bit more, again, positivity in the sport. Obviously, it is a competitive sport, but there's also a lot of negativity behind it. People take it, and so realistically, powerlifting or the sport, it is a hobby. That's all it is. But people take it to heart too much, and they spread a lot of negativity on the sport, on other people. So I really like to see it, and I would hope it would, but realistically, I don't think it will. Get better for like everybody, and like I said, in terms of just enough with the negativity. Everybody, they're doing this for their own reasons. Like you don't know what reasons are, so there is no reason to be negative to this person. Sumo is not cheating. A arch and a bench is not cheating. All this kind of stuff, it's just, there's a lot of these, everybody thinks, the thing is everybody thinks they know, but they actually don't know. So there's a lot of know-it-alls, but they don't know nothing.
Okay, I agree with that. I think a lot of people do try to and put their ideals on other people, especially new people to the sport, before allowing them to kind of find who they are in the sport or what they can and cannot do. Like for me, I found like sumo feels a lot better than conventional deadlifts, but either way you look at it, my deadlift sucks. My bread and butter definitely has to be my squat. But I also know that, like, so Will is my training partner. The things that work for me don't necessarily work for him. And me trying to push him to do that, he's probably got hurt way more than anything. Right. So I think I agree with you on that. My next question, though, is what do you think other companies and brands like us can do better to help serve the sport of powerlifting? Because, like, this is one thing I care a lot about. And I don't know, I don't get to talk about it a lot because there's not many people that want to talk about that, or they feel that they know what they're doing is helping. But I would like to hear from you and other meet directors how we could be better.
Bro, I don't know about you. A lot, man. You do a lot. You have just as much passion for this sport and wanting to see it grow and to see the good things about it. So I can't say for you specifically, but just help out. And I know it's all a business and everybody's got to make money and everybody's got to eat, but like help out. Some companies, they require way too much for some things. Hey Heather, but that's what I think is that, again, look to do this together and for the betterment of the sport, for the lifters and stuff like that. And again, I'm not talking about like free stuff or doing things like that, but just stop thinking that it's everybody against everybody for the sport. Like I don't know about you, bro. Like you do a lot for it. You do a lot for me. If you guys don't know, Mike does all my t-shirt designs. He does all my graphics, my videos, my backdrops, my table skirts, and then everything in between. But I think that's it. There are companies out there that do help a lot, like Pioneer Fitness.
Yeah, Matt and them do a whole lot. I would like to be on their level. Don't get me wrong. They do a lot though.
Yeah, Tim and Sarah from Go Equipment. Tim is phenomenal, like super awesome guy. You know, obviously we have all Ghost equipment on the platform. They do so much as well.
You even have the Ghost, the racks for the kilo plates. I think that was the best thing that I've ever seen in the last 10 years.
The kilo carts, man, they're awesome. You know, and that's what I try to do for everybody. Like, it makes their job a lot easier. Spotting and loading for squats, loading for deadlift. Unfortunately for bench, unfortunately for deadlift, it sucks regardless of what you have. So make it better. But those kilo carts are amazing. They work custom. Like, that's why, you know, with the best metal and stuff like that, and the metals on the benches. Like companies like that, like Tim Go Strong, and then Pioneer, are, you know, great companies that do give a lot back for this sport. So just honestly, just things like that, man. Again, and I can't forget this company. So this will be kind of like an announcement as well. But Kabuki, so they do a lot. They do a lot for the sport, and they do a lot for the USPA. So with that, I am partnering with them for a sponsorship in 2022. So they will have Kabuki bars on the platform in 2022.
That's super funny. Will and I just bought 2 bars today.
From them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love their bars. I have the Transformer bar. I have their trap bar. I have
That's
their.
what we bought.
Huh?
We bought that, and then the what is it? It's like the football bar.
Yeah, the Cadillac bar.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm about to buy that, but so maybe I can somehow bench in there without paying. But yeah, they're phenomenal. Companies like that.
Sweet. Is there anything else you would like us to know about what you do and who you are?
Not too much more. I will say that at the end of the year in December, I do have a meet called. I agree, Gary and Heather. I do have a meet called is a drug tested, no gift, no lift. It is a regular meet, drug tested meet. The only thing that is different, what I'm trying to do about this meet, is have all the competitors or people that want to come and drop stuff off or send stuff. I am doing it like a for a toy drive. Last year, I adopted some families that couldn't afford stuff for their kids or even themselves, and, you know, did it that way. But this year, I'm looking to go even bigger. I'm trying to do a toy drive through that. So be on the lookout for that, everybody, guys. It's already up. The meet is over half full. So if you're looking to sign up for a drug testing meet, that is a cool one to do, because you can also give back and help kids in the process. And then also, we have Teddy, TP_strong. If anybody go find him on Instagram, he's supposed to be coming out in a Santa suit. So he's in class right now. He's in the Army. He's a captain in the Army, but he's probably gonna kill me for saying that. But I told him he's gonna come out and get in the Santa suit.
We do. I think that's one of my favorite things about powerlifting. We do have a bunch of assholes, but there's no sport that doesn't. There's no place in the world that doesn't have an asshole.
Right.
But generally, everyone that I meet is pretty nice and great. I would say that the experience I had with you guys, and you know, this was my first meet over there on the East Coast. I've gone there the East Coast a few times, but that was my first meet there. That was one of the most welcoming places I've been. Especially, like, it was nice to feel so welcome, and it's like the first time people have ever seen me or meet me. So that's what I think is really great about it. Because then, look, we have the USPA Foundation, which Ann we both know Ann. Ann is I don't really know what she does there other than a lot, but they do that. We got Travis, who's doing his back to school backpack giveaway, which is coming up. There's a bunch of things, and I remember the first meet we ever sponsored was for a disability campaign for over here in California. You know, they're raising money for the special needs kids. That was our first ever thing. So I think what's really great about the sport is so many of us are genuinely willing to help, and I think sometimes we just don't know how. So things like this, I think, help out a lot, so people can just know that it's available for them. Because you can send a toy even if you don't live in North Carolina, South Carolina, or in that area. Amazon works everywhere.
Yep, that's just true, and that's what trying to push. And then, like you said, yeah, you're 100% right. Especially like people like Travis, man. Like the dude is huge in this sport. He gives back a lot. He sponsors a lot of meets. He's super passionate about the sport. And not only that, like you said, he has his foundation to where he is, he hand draws his t-shirts or his apparel, all that kind of stuff. And all that money goes back into helping kids who can't afford school supplies. They can't afford powerlifting gear. They can't afford whatever it is. But like you said, he is having his backpack drive. So this way, right now they have 100 backpacks. He's trying to get to 50 to fill those with all school supplies and go give them out to the kids that cannot afford school supplies. So if you guys follow him, Papa Bear Rogers, or
it's Papa Bear's fun, I thought.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So he is on Instagram. So we follow that guy. That guy's doing a lot of things for the sport as well, and also doing incredible things for the kids in the Maryland, Delaware area. And then, like you said, and with the USPA Foundation is also another phenomenal thing that also does essentially the same thing, except for they don't do school supplies and stuff like that. They sponsor athletes to be able to travel to meets. They do pay their meet fees, help them with powerlifting gear and stuff like that. And then also, Anne is a speech therapist for kids.
It's true. I've talked to her about that because my little brother has speech therapy.
Yeah, she does. She does awesome things with that too. And then, so Gary says to plug his meet. Oh, Gary. So Gary Brewer, his wife, are doing awesome things as well. Honestly, for real, they are starting to do more meets and meet direct more stuff. So you guys don't know, follow him, check him out. Again, him and his wife are doing awesome things for the sport as well. George, tossing a link donation for the toy meet. You can share around for people that can't compete. I will do that, Gary. I'll get on that today, and I will post that on my bio so people can donate for that. I appreciate that. As an awesome idea. And then
I would say that too. If you don't follow other people in the sport, that's a little weird of you. Not you, George, but like everyone else. Like, but follow other beat directors, follow other USPA pages, even if that's not your state or you think you're ever going to go there. Me and George talked about that last weekend. Just being able to get out of your state and competing against other people. Yes, you can't break any state records over there, but you will see competition that you're not going to see at your normal area. And like, at least like me in here in California, when we do a meet, I try to do at least one a year, just with how crazy things are. My weight class can either have like 7 people or me.
Yep.
And it's really hit or miss because California is so big. But that's a good reason to go out and check out other things. Or you're going to see things like this, like the donation drive we're doing or that George is doing, and be able to help out. You don't have to be there. So that's my tidbit.
Yeah, and to caveat off of that, just share information. Realistically, if you see a post, and even if hey, that's not for me, I'm not going to compete or do that or this, that, and the third. Just because you're not going to do it doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't want to do it. And with everybody sharing and working together like that, more people will have eyes on information. And then it's again a betterment for the sport. Like you said, help is the biggest thing. Sharing is another big thing. Again, is like I just said, it's just to share information. Again, if it doesn't pertain to you, that doesn't mean it doesn't pertain to other people. And some people might not be following my page, or might not be following Gary's page, or might not be following Trisha's page, or might not be following your page, Mike. But if you reshare that information, they might see it and be like, oh, crap, let me go follow that person and let me get this, see it. And, this was awesome that I've seen this. So that is one other big thing, too, is that people should work together a little bit more.
Boom. I don't really have any more questions, George, unless you want to let the people know about something. Other than that,
I think that is it. And just, I guess, we'll reiterate on, like we were saying earlier, volunteering, helping out. That is a huge thing. Again, because us as meet directors cannot do it without everybody else's help. So please help volunteer if you can. Obviously, if you can't, that's not that big of a deal. And then, oh, one other thing. If you are a competitor and you sign up for a meet and you cannot make that meet for any reason whatsoever, please reach out to the meet director and let them know. I do send out plenty of emails and stuff like that and ask the people to let me know. So if you do, it helps everybody else out, because then we don't have to sit around waiting for people to not show up. So that is another big thing, is just information push. So, and then I think that is about it.
Well, here's my recap, everybody. Today we spoke with George from USPA, North Carolina. That's his Instagram. He's a meet director for the East Coast because he does a whole lot of states. He does it because he loves y'all and he loves the sport of powerlifting. He's probably going to do it till the day he dies. And if he says no, that's a lie. But that's pretty much it. Who, what, more, why?
What up,
George? But
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to one of my judges, Rob Engelman. He's on here with like 6 different Instagram accounts right now.
Believe
it. But he is going to be directing his first meet in November, the America Classic 2, which is in Carthage, North Carolina. He is going to be the main meet director there. I am going to be there to help him. But he will be directing his first meet and hopefully take on some more meets in the future, kind of help putting them on over in his area out near Asheville. The guy is a hard worker. Again, he has Rob has a huge passion for this sport, and Rob is one of my hardest, one of my hardest working judges, and I can literally count on Rob for anything. And it's a lot easier when you have people like that on your back, because then you can, like, at the end of the meet, I can make sure, I'm talking to the lifters and all that kind of stuff, and then he gets a lot of work done, or he gets a lot of work done during the meet for me, and it's just a lot of, it's just easier for me. So, again, big shout out to Big Rob. He will be directing that meet. Again, I will be there. He will have plenty of help, but that will be his first official meet with him directing. So we're going to kind of throw him in the saddle. So I hope, Rob, if you're on and listening, that you know that you will be doing the lifter's brief and everything else. So get ready.
Rob's great. But
Rob,
thank you. I appreciate you, George, coming on here with us. I know you're a very busy man, so I appreciate the time. I'm going to let everyone go. I'm going to post this on our IGTV, so if you missed it, you can watch the whole thing on there, and I'll tag everyone that I can.
For sure. What up, Isaac? Appreciate it, everybody. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, Big Al.